Virāsana for knee issues, knee situations, knees who have a hard time in this pose. Those are knees that really need this pose. But you must know what you're doing. You must do it properly. It can heal the knees, but it can also do the opposite if you don't know what you're doing. So if when you sit, so what I have proposed in my standard Virāsana video for standard healthy legs is just the bolster. So you can just simply put a little extra height under the buttock. That can be very helpful if that doesn't seem to be enough. So when you put extra height under the buttock, you have to fold the blanket in the direction of the bolster so that it takes the shape of the prop that you're using, if you're using a bolster. If that's not enough, so here, when you sit, and my first Virāsana video I address the alignment of the legs, so I'm not really going to address that. So you have to make sure the feet are straight, the legs are aligned. The support is only under the sitting bones, it's not under the thighs. If this is not enough, sitting on some height, the next thing you can do is to add a blanket behind the knees, like a spacer. And this would be lengthwise, and this would be kind of, I guess, so I want to put it in this direction, so it's long this way, yeah? And what I'll do is that I'll bring my head all the way down to the floor. So I have some padding here because the head can hurt on the floor. And I want to get the knees, the back of the knees open so I can get the blanket all the way to the backs of the knees. And I hold it there. And then I sit. So this creates space in the back of the knee. And it also, it's nice, it kind of holds things in place. You can do one like this. You can do two if one is not enough. You can do a second one. So, and kind of step them a little bit or put them both there. If you need extra height, you can fold whatever extra blanket is left over behind you or add a block on top. You know, you can just keep building up the height. Keep building up the height. So usually that takes care of things. You can have 3 blankets behind the knees. This is just a more basic way of making things doable and more gentle for the knees. I'm going to show you the 3 bolster method, which I call the throne. I must have heard that somewhere, but so to come out of the pose, I want to be really clear. You see me coming out of the pose. If need be, you stretch one leg at a time, foot on the floor, and then you just cross your ankles. Always come out of the pose. Any kneeling position, very important. Now, the throne. This is really the crème de la crème, the business class of Virāsana setups for legs that have trouble. 2 bolsters. So that would be the base. Then you need 3 bolsters. If you don't have 3 bolsters, either you get them because it's worth it, or you just do it in a different way. Block between the feet, just in this direction, you see? So it covers both sitting bones. So it needs to be wide, the block wide between the feet. Flat and wide between the ankles. Then I can put a blanket behind my knees. Now, if you bring your head down here, know that it's going to be a lot harder to get up because you're lower on the floor. So you must have that strength to get up. Otherwise, don't bring the head all the way down. And then a bolster under the buttock. So the bolster is horizontal. And this usually, I've never had a student that had knee issues that was unhappy in this setup. Anybody who, I've tried a few things, it doesn't work, this always works. And then a blanket or 2. And here I am. My feet are dangling off. You can't see my feet, but they're kind of dangling off this bolster. The block is between the ankles, and have something behind the knees, maybe two, like this if necessary, behind the knees, and then as much height under the buttock as possible. I should have a chair nearby. If you had a chair in front of you, you can put your hands on top of the seat of the chair. If you have an extra bolster, hands on top of the bolster, on top of the seat of the chair, and you can press down and sit. Virāsana. This is the foolproof Virāsana for difficult legs. And to come out the same way you would come out, one leg at a time. So I come to all fours and a foot on the floor. I stretch one leg. And take your time. You can stretch it for 30 seconds. You can stretch it for a minute. You can repeat. Do it again. Yes. And when you feel the legs are ready, then you can just stand. But the legs must be ready. So you come out in a symmetrical fashion. So Virāsana for knees that need extra care.